Hey guys, welcome to a wonderful game played in the FIDE Grand Swiss tournament that is being held in the Isle of Man. This game is played in round 5 and the game is played between Nihal, who has the white pieces, and Anna Zatonsky. The reason why I decided to show this game is Nihal is a wonderful prodigy from India and he is just 15 years of age. He is playing at a very high level with all the big guns at just the age of 15. Interesting fact about Nihal is that he became a grandmaster at the age of 14. His opponent is Anna Zatonsky, who is actually Ukrainian, but she is an American chess player and she is a woman grandmaster. With that being said, let's get into the game. We have knight to f3 by Nihal, who has the white pieces. We get d5 and now d4. e6 and c4. This is the queen's gambit declined line. Knight to f6 and knight to c3. Bishop to e7, bishop to g5 and now h6, kicking away the bishop or asking the bishop to capture here. So Nihal captures, bishop captures f6 and bishop captures f6. So Nihal pretty early in the game gives up his bishop pair. His dark square bishop is now off the board. We get e3 and b6. Queen to c2. All of these moves are developing moves, which is why I usually run through these moves pretty quick, and I will stop and explain a lot of variations once there is a novelty or some bad move is played. We get bishop to b7, all developing moves, putting this bishop on a nice diagonal, this diagonal, and hoping this captures and then open up the lines. We get c takes d5. Nihal wants to capture it himself and make sure that the pawn is stuck here, because if you just play bishop captures, then your knight is going to capture the bishop and then you have to give up the control of this nice diagonal. So e takes d5, the safest way to play, and we have queenside castle by white and now kingside castle by black. King to b1, getting the king to safety. Always remember guys, if you are castling on the queen side, it is better to put your king on b1. It is just much safer there. We get knight to d7. This was a slight mistake from Anna, the first real mistake in the game, and I'm going to show you a variation which she should have played instead of playing this knight here to d7. What she should have played was knight to c6, so not developing to c7 but to c6. Now you want to remaneuver your knight and make it an attacking piece here from f5. It's a wonderful, f5 is a wonderful square for the knight. a3, now taking away this square from the knight, and now knight to e7. Again, the plan is simple, to put here on f5 and have a wonderful game. Bishop to e2 and bishop to c8, both developing moves. Now bishop also controls this wonderful f5 square, and immediately there is a threat of trying to pin this queen to the king behind it. But white doesn't have to worry because he has a bishop of his own, light square bishop, so he's completely fine here. Rook h to g1. Now you want to start pushing this pawn, and bishop to f5. We get bishop to d3. Now bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and you can continue the game. You can push these pawns forward, create a pawn storm on the king side. Your queen is nicely controlling this diagonal. Your knight is ready to jump into the game once this knight remaneuvers itself, and both the players can have a nice game. Black has a nice bishop here on f6. He has a knight which can come into the game, and even once you move the queen, this rook can come into the game and control this file. So both sides have equal opportunities in this position. But after king to b1, knight to d7 was played, which was the first inaccuracy, and h4. Amazing continuation by Nihal. c5. Again, Anna is trying to play on the queen side where white's king is, and Nihal is trying to play on the king side where black's king is, so both of them are trying to attack. G4, now the real threat is pushing off this nice pawn here, G5, and now C takes D4. But first, because your knight is hanging, you have to take care of that. E takes D4. And now bishop to E7. Simply moving the bishop out of the way and not allowing this to come with the threat of captures here. So G5. Even though you're not threatening this bishop, you're still going to try to create a file that is open, and then try to get some advantage going on your favor. We have H5, closing down the position, but because if you capture, even though you get an extra pawn, you have this H file that is open and your king is pretty weak, so you don't really want to do that. Anna knows it, so she just decides to close down this position. We have bishop to H3 and G6. Rook H to E1, and I just want to show you a wonderful variation. Other than playing Rook H to E1, there is another move that Nihal could have played to get a better advantage, and the move is Bishop to E6. An amazing move because now you are luring black to capture. So pause the video and try to decide if you want to capture here or not. If you decided you want to capture, then unfortunately you are going to lose the game, and I'm going to show you how. F takes E6. If you capture, then you get queen takes G6 with check. The only move is to move your king to H8. King moves to H8, and now queen to H6 check. King to G8, and now G6, pushing the pawn even further, threatening a checkmate. The only solution you have is to give up your rook, so rook to F7, and now G takes F7 with check. King takes F7, queen takes H5 with check, and king to F8. Now this is a completely lost position. It's mate in 18 moves, and I'm sure a grandmaster can definitely find it. I'm sure you guys can also find it. I'm not going to show this variation any further as it was not played in the game, but I just wanted to show you a wonderful bishop to E6 move which Nihal could have played and complicated things a bit. So after G6, not going here with the bishop, but rook H to E1. Simply putting some nice pressure, and now maybe Nihal is threatening to go bishop to E6. Who knows? We'll see. Rook to E8. Now putting some more defense. So now Nihal is not really interested in this. We get bishop takes D7 instead. Queen takes D7, and now knight to E5. Attacking this queen, attacking this pawn, and this pawn here on G6. A wonderful knight move. Queen to E6, now getting out of any threats, and knight to B5. Again, trying to get to the C7 square where it's going to triple fork, 1, 2, and 3 forks. So it's a wonderful triple fork. And I don't know a name for triple fork, so twerk. I don't know, not twerk, but twerk, like O. So I don't know, maybe that's the word for it. Who knows? We'll see. But bishop to D8 was played, and this was a huge mistake by Anna. She's just trying to protect this knight from coming to C7, but now this is a move that you have to find the move that Nihal played. If you have some time, pause the video because this is a wonderful position. A lot of things to consider here. The move that Nihal played was knight captures on F7. Amazing move. And I'm going to show you what happens if queen captures, because queen captures was not played in the game. But if queen captures, then we get knight to D6, now forking this rook and the queen. So you don't really have to give up one of the pieces. You can capture this rook here. Rook takes E1, and if white decides to capture the queen, you don't really have to worry because you can immediately capture this rook. and if you give up 2 rooks for the piece of 1 queen, then it's completely fine. So always remember this. Rook takes e1, and now queen to g7, getting out of any threats. But this piece is now attacked. So rook to e6 first. Simply going after this pawn here on g6, and your queen is also covering that pawn, or attacking the pawn that covering that square. You have to play king to h7, and we have f4. And if you ask me in this position, why did knight capture? So I can show you what happens if knight captures. Instead of playing f4, you can capture with the knight, but then you won't really get queen captures here immediately. You are going to get queen to f7, attacking this rook, keeping an eye on this wonderful pawn, and also attacking your knight. So it's not really a good position. You have a better move, which was f4. So this is what would have happened if queen captures on f7 was played. But instead, what Anna chose was even worse. She chose queen takes on e1, which is, I don't know what she calculated, but it's a complete disastrous move. This is a completely losing position. Again, pause the video. This time, if you are 15 years old playing a FIDE Grand Swiss tournament with all the big guns, and if you have such a wonderful position against Anna, who is a woman grandmaster, then think, what will you do? Will you capture the queen? Will you move your knight? Will you bring this knight into the game, or will you do something else? That something else is what you had to find, and the move to find was queen takes g6 with check. So if one or many of you found this move, you guys are amazing, keep improving. And king to f8. That's the only move that you have. Now you get queen to h6 check, king to g8. You have to play king to g8, because if you capture this knight here, I'm going to show you what happens. King takes f7. Instead of playing king to g8, you play king takes f7. Then you get knight to d6 check, king to e7, and now you capture this queen and give a check. Rook takes e1 with check. And this is a wonderful force. This queen is nicely controlling this file and not allowing the king to capture, so you have to play king to d7, and now you get knight takes e8, not with the check, but soon to be checkmate scenario. We get bishop to f6. Now you have to defend against this threat, and now queen takes f6, simply trying to avoid. This is mate in 5 moves. I hope all of you can find it. I'm not going to show it any further because this was not played in the game. After queen h6 check, we have king to g8, not capturing but moving away with the king. And now queen to h8 check. We get king takes f7, and now knight to d6 with check. And again we enter the same position that we were in. Your king is again going to move. Then you can either give a check with your queen, or just give a check with your queen being on g7, or you could just capture this queen here, and it's all over for Anna. I'm going to show you, but this was the final position as Anna resigned because she knew what followed is mate in 18 moves. And the move starts with king to e6. Now you get rook takes e1 with check, and now king takes d6, queen takes e8, and now a6. You have to play something. Rook to e6 with check, king to c7, and rook to g6. Now the threat is obviously to put your rook here and give a checkmate on g7. So you have to play a5 as there is nothing you can do. Rook to g7 check, king to b8, queen to d7. Now again threatening a checkmate. The only move you have is to move your rook. Rook to a7 is played, and queen to d6 check. King to c8, rook to g8. Now again threatening a checkmate on this square, so you have to again move away with your bishop. Bishop to a6, making some room for the king to escape. Queen takes d8 with check and king to b7. After king to b7, queen to c8. This is checkmate. And Nihal, even though this was not played in the game, after this position on move 25, and I resigned, and because she knew there is nothing she could have done. An amazing prodigy, this guy, and he is playing some wonderful chess in this tournament against big guns. So if you have some time, I'm going to put the link in the description. Please watch these live games if you have some time, that is. And for all the subscribers, thank you for all your support. That's it from me. Namaste. See you next time.